So ever since the inauguration, we've all been debating Elon Musk and his awkward hand gesture, and those of us on our side of the aisle have been gaslit to no end, being told that we really didn't see what we thought we saw. And they actually go so far to insult our intelligence by finding pictures of Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton waving to a crowd or Bernie Sanders talking with his hands, and they freeze frame it and say, hey, look, they did the same thing. And we're not going to be gaslit. We're not going to have our intelligence insulted like that. And when they say you didn't see what you think you saw, we're always going to stand on the side of truth and the side of reason. And there is no way that they can explain this next one away. There's no way they can do a freeze frame. There's no way that they can try to catch somebody in a moment and say, look, they did it too. Because this is right here in print for everybody to see. This next story is truly disturbing, and again, there's no way they can tell us that we didn't see what we think we saw, because we all saw it. And before I read this story to you, I do want to say, not all of us in Tennessee are like this. So if you're watching this from some other part of the country, if you're fortunate enough to be in a blue state, and you're going, damn, I'm never going to come to Tennessee, understand that not all of us go for this. Understand that there are a lot of progressive and blue dot voices in this part of the world who are sick and tired and fed up of this. And we're going to start speaking up more and more. And so this is a pretty disturbing story, and this is one that they absolutely cannot explain away. I'm just going to read it to you and react in real time, okay? And this is coming to you from the Chattanooga Times Free Press. A Tennessee Republican women's group moves to get Hitler reference off of website. They actually had a reference to Adolf Hitler on their website, and here is the story, folks. After facing online scrutiny, the Tennessee Federation of Republican Women has taken steps to remove a reading list for children from its website that referenced Adolf Hitler as an example of leadership. Now, like I said, I'm going to react to this in real time. This is a group of women, okay? I mean, we always talk about the mediocre white dudes, but this is a group of women that put this on their website that was on a reading list for children. Let that sink in. And this is what it said. Hitler and all intelligent leaders throughout history have understood that the way to change a country was through training of its youth. To get them while they are young, the organization's reading list said. On its website, the organization had a photograph of the Israeli flag and touts its support for the country. The organization's president, Sharon Boring, I guess how you say that, did not return calls, voicemails, or text messages from a reporter, but emailed a statement to the Chattanooga rabbi after he reached out about the list. And she said this: the document has been removed from our website because it inaccurately reflected our intentions. There is no doubt that Adolf Hitler was an evil man who led atrocities against humanity, and we must learn from this horrific time in history so that it's never repeated again. But you cited him on your website as an intelligent leader who knew how to get the youth. Why would anyone say that? Why would you ever put that reference? That's like being like, you know what? Charles Manson loved families. And Charles Manson knew how to manipulate women better than anyone. It's so ridiculous that they just completely forgot all the atrocities. They completely forgot all of that when they talk. You do not reference Adolf Hitler and his leadership in any way, shape, or form. And this is the party that talks about we support the kids, we're out to protect the children. We can't let a drag queen read to your kid in Tennessee. But we can tell them Adolf Hitler had a lot of intelligence and knew how to get them when they was young. This is absolutely an embarrassment to our, not just the state, it's to the whole damn country. But let's keep going. Her statement did not include an apology. Surprise. Also, the document remained online as of Friday evening at the group's internet domain, including the Hitler reference, although it was no longer linked from the group's public-facing web pages. Michael, I can't pronounce his last name, sorry about that, president of the Jewish Federation for Greater Chattanooga, said there is nothing positive to say about Hitler. I mean, absolutely. He says this: any kind of use of Hitler's name really takes away from the gravity and the magnitude and the evil of the Holocaust. So when people make that reference, there's really nothing to compare Hitler and that evil to anything else. I mean, how are we even having this conversation? And again, I would love to hear a Trump supporter, I would love to hear an Elon Musk supporter tell us that we didn't see this, and this wasn't really what they meant. They referenced Adolf Hitler in a positive light and in a way that said he got kids when they were young. I mean, there's no explaining this one away. So he also said that any reference to Hitler is disappointing to see from any group or individual, and that he would like to hear an explanation of why it was included on the list. Oscar Brock, a Republican National Committee member from Chattanooga, spoke out against the reading list in a social media post. I absolutely condemn the authors, and publishers of this work from the Tennessee Federation of Republican Women. The message of hate has no place in any Republican-affiliated group in Tennessee or anywhere. Bravo to those Republican women who've already condemned this. Now, thankfully, there's a Republican who is condemning this. And what I've said so many times is more Republicans have to be the ones to call this out and condemn it. Because there are so many people that just love seeing those of us on the left get upset about something. They love owning the libs. And so they'll be happy to just see us get upset about it. It has to be more Republicans speak out and say, this isn't normal. We cannot normalize this. We cannot same watch this. We must always condemn this. Vicky Love, a local Republican and member of the Jewish community, said she was horrified to find out about the reference of Hitler. I can't figure out at all what would have drawn someone to put it on there, Love said by phone. Love, who supported Donald Trump in the November election, said she would like to hear the president's thoughts on the list, citing that his daughter Ivanka is Jewish. Craig Lewis, rabbi in Chattanooga, said, "Get them while they're young" was the most disturbing part of the statement, and I truly do agree with that. That was all about using propaganda and bullying to indoctrinate the youth of Germany, Lewis said by phone. He said that listing Hitler as an example of intelligent leaders by which others will compare themselves was shocking, and had this to say: if there was one thing that I thought we all agreed upon, it was that Hitler as a leader ultimately failed, and that he was wrong, and the source of evil is not someone to be emulated. Lewis said that it was horrific that anyone would want to implement the same tools used by Hitler. The women I know that are involved with all three clubs in Hamilton County affiliated with this state organization, the women I know best, all despise Hitler and what his Nazi party stood for and find him to be a vile human being, Mark Harrison from Hamilton County GOP said by phone. I'm just going to go ahead and stop right there because you all get the drift of this. But, folks, it just doesn't get any more disgusting than that, and there's no way in hell that anyone can explain this away and say, oh, you didn't see what you think you saw. More people are going to have to speak up and speak out about this, and I want to make this point right here. I hear people in the South all the time talk about what a great general that Robert E. Lee was, and we were taught to believe that growing up. I was taught that when I was growing up. People would tell us, yeah, the Civil War was wrong, but now he was a great general, and he was a great man, and the only reason that he fought for the South is because he didn't want to fight against his own people, and blah, blah, blah. And as we grew up, we had to face a whole lot of uncomfortable truths about Robert E. Lee, and we had to realize that his style of being a general led to more deaths than were ever necessary. This dude was not the general, was not the hero in the story that a lot of us was taught to be. And a lot of us had to face up to that one day and go, you know what? Yeah, that guy is not the hero in the story that we thought that he was at all. He wasn't the great general that we thought he was at all. And we had to learn to say that about someone who was born in America and was an American citizen. We had to wake up and realize that. Southerners had to realize that about a fellow Southerner. Okay? But I thought that we all were in agreement, no matter what side of the political aisle we on. I thought we were all in agreement that Adolf Hitler was bad. I thought that was something that we automatically was taught. We knew from the time we picked up a history book. Hey, look at what this man did. This is atrocious. There's no defending this. There's no spin you can put on this one. I thought that's something we were all in agreement with. So if people in the South like me could grow up to see through Robert E. Lee, there is no excuse for anybody out there who never saw through Adolf Hitler. But this is exactly what they voted for. And I say this every time in my videos. If This isn't what if you voted for Donald Trump and you're still hanging in there at the 10-minute mark in this video, and you voted for Donald Trump and you support Donald Trump and you're glad to see him renaming the Gulf of America, but you condemn this, reach out to me and tell me you condemn it. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear people say they condemn it. But anytime I say something like that, I'm lucky if I get one. I got one email when I said, do you really consider me the enemy from within? If they came to lock me up and deport me and send me away, would you stand by my side? One person that voted for Donald Trump said, yes, I would. I wouldn't be for that. I would stand with you. So can anybody out there that supports Donald Trump condemn Hitler? Is that hard to do? I truly appreciate everybody for sticking with me on this channel and support me on this channel. It's very tiresome talking about this shit day in and day out. And when I see a story like this, I say, you know what? I need a minute. I really need a minute to think. And I think on my late great uncle who helped raise me and helped teach me the way to go in this world. And I'm so thankful for him. And I've always said that if he could have channeled his energy like this, he would have blew me out of the water. But he would have never been able to monetize a video because there's no way he could have made the video I just made without cussing with every possible word, and he would have invented some new ones. And that's why I loved him, because he would stand up for the truth no matter what. But it is very hard to talk about these kind of subjects and not just want to scream. So thank you for supporting what I do, and we will continue to put in the work, and we will continue to call out evil. Yeah, we will continue to call out evil, and we will never normalize and same wash one of the most evil men in the history of the universe.